Good day, Nakia, and welcome to your Akashic Records reading. So, I actually already went ahead and pulled for what the theme of your reading would be, and it's union. So, that's exciting, whether it's internal or with an external counterpart. That means that uh, internally, you are bringing your pieces back together. This means your shadow self and your light self are integrating into one. That's the main thing I'm feeling. But usually, the repercussion or aftermath of that is that if you're not already in a relationship, you pull a person in. But then if you are in a relationship, your balancing within yourself starts to improve your partner. In some cases, I'm recognizing that when you bring yourself into union, if you are not with a partner that complements your growth and what you're trying to do, your attraction to them will fall off. The relationship will start to fall off. But that's also making room for your counterpart. So union is your theme. And I'm going to pull all sorts of cards for us to find out what this is about. So let's get started with this first message. And I'm going to use my Akashic Tarot deck. This is just letting us into the Akashic Records library. And then everything that I stream through my crown after that will be from the Akashic Records. So can I please have the information for what Nakia most needs to know right now? And I have your name up behind me. So that's all I'm tapping into you. I'm like keeping it anonymous, but at the same time having you there. So what message does Nakia most need to know right now? That's my excited shake, right? First, you got rebirth. But look, didn't I say your shadow and your light self were coming together? So, what this grants you access to, this rebirth, this integration of all of your energies, it's like the limits that were placed on your manifestations get removed. When you still have some shadow work to do, it's like the universe is like, on the magic. They don't want to show you everything because when you're creating, you might start creating from a place of things you think you want and things you think you need, but they're just remnants of the parts of you that still need healing. So, for instance, like if you were bullied when you were younger, right? And you were like, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to become famous. But keep in mind, that was never your original idea. You didn't want to be famous or anything. When you come into manifestation or when you start using your gifts, you might still have in your shadow, if it's unhealed, I need to become famous. And then you start attracting that to you. And then you're drawing like the Illuminati or something because you're creating out of your shadow, as opposed to if you took the time to sit through, like, hey, I got bullied, but they sucked anyway. I didn't even want to be their friends. And then you start going towards what you want and creating with a more limitless power. So this is the Akashic field, right? You are the only person that has got this as a gift. And I've done hundreds of readings over the last couple of years. What this is not only do you have the ability to quantum jump, that means you could be in this timeline today and decide, hey, I think I want my business to do A, B, C, and D. And then the next day you wake up and there's some little Mandela effect stuff happening. Like you'll start noticing what you want to know about your business, the messages that you need in order to guide you down that path will become the fullness of your feed or all your synchronicities. That means you jumped into the timeline where that's possible for you. This also means that you can create from scratch. This is like you pulling from source energy and creating your own reality or what you want in your own reality. This is the Akashic field. So this also, this is a lot. Like I said, this is my first time getting this one. Gives you the ability to tap into what I'm tapping into now, but you can do it through dreams, through channeling. Like if you were to sit there and say, hey, can I get a book on love or something, right? Because the Akashic library is full of books, knowledge. You would be actually streaming from the Akashic field all the information or all the messages there are about love right now. And that could very well be your content. I see you do creations, but that could also mean you can get inspired by an artistic project. This is you having a direct connection to the zone. If you don't understand what that is, have a movie. Soul, Jamie Foxx is that's what you can tap into. There's a section in that movie where they will tell you all about being in the zone, and that's where the best creations are. When you get tapped into source or the Akashic field, the things that you pull out of you give you the ability to build. And in this case, it looks like you're going home. You're building home, building for your home. This could even be you preparing your nest, if you will, by working overnight. See, didn't I say I noticed that creation thing stood out? That's you working overnight. And what you create is going to inspire other people, but you will be heavily inspired also because you're going to be tapping into. So, what I'm getting is now that you've come into union, you're working for source. What you're going to be creating, the ideas that are coming to you, are coming from source. It's like God said, hey, I'm hiring. And you were like, what do I need to do for the job? Because you're now going to be a master. And I'm going to mess this word up. I mess it up every time. Artisan. Oh, I don't think I messed it up. Master artisan. You see that person working with their hands and building stuff, and it looks like that's what you do already. But suddenly, the creations that you come up with are going to be very specific, and you're not even going to like realize why you had to make that thing. But then a specific client will come and they'll be like, hey, I was looking for such and such. And you'll be like, well, isn't that crazy? I just made such and such. Your ideas will be coming from beyond you. And because you are at the, what's the word I want to use? I'm just going to say because you work for God. That's the best way to do it. I was going to say at the service of the Most High, but that's so dramatic, right? But because you are working directly from source, like per project, there's a reward. Even you like creating something, taking a picture of it, and then writing down whatever you streamed, whatever inspired you to create that thing is going to have a ripple effect. Not only are you creating stuff for yourself that is inspirational, or while you're inspired, when people see it, you will be a muse to them as well. So that's the first message out the book, right? So what are you going to be releasing at this time is what I'm feeling like is next. Because you integrate it, but it's like there's some residual like fog or smog or something. So what does Nakia need to release to come fully into alignment with this overnight burst of energy that's coming through? Because this is you like working around the clock, weird hours, because you are moving with the waves. Look at the waves here. Like when an idea drops, like that new idea drops in the ethers, you're going to pop out your sleep like, hold on, and jot down like details. Do you draw? Because that's just what that made me feel like. Like you have to start drawing what comes through you in order for you to keep the idea for what you're meant to create. So what you're releasing now is any residual. And didn't I say earlier something about like leftover stuff? Like if you were bullied and had stuff in your shadow, but this is leftover stuff in your heart from people who told you that you couldn't do whatever it is that you're doing, that it wouldn't make no money, that you weren't that talented, right? All that sort of stuff. You're going to move that out the way. You can even turn that into an art project. Turn it into a black bouquet, if you will. Because look, that's what's on her chest. You are releasing all that pent up stuff that is left over into art. So you don't even have to, like, you integrate it, and then there was like foam at the top. That's the best way I could think about it. Like God brought you to a boil, but it's to bring all this other gook that you didn't even recognize was in there. It's like your container is being cleaned out so that you are a clear conduit for source, I'm feeling. But it's going to come out in your art first. So some of your stuff might be dark sometimes, but dark in a good way. Have you ever heard like a sad song, but it's exactly the sad song you needed to hear in order to feel better? Your projects are going to be emitting the frequency of different emotions. So when somebody sees it, they're gonna be like, oh, that touches me, and I don't know what that is, that feeling is. But you could have touched on the part in their shadow where they were blocked off from other people. So that's what you're going to be releasing through your work. That's going to be part of the fuel that is going to be sustaining you as you're woken up at all random hours, right? So believe in your own magic. This is about to be your inspirational message, if you will, about what you haven't recognized within yourself is your own power. So what power does Nakia need to embrace for this next part of her journey? I think accepting that people outside of those that you came from look up to you. or will look up to you. It's something that's going to be different for you. Ma'am, this card says library. Can't make that up. And now this hand up here made me realize that there has been somebody controlling you your whole life. This could be a mother figure. That could be your mother's side of the family, I'm feeling, possibly. But there have been voices or people around you that have been trying to tell you what you need to do with your life and what you can or can't do or achieve. After this puppet string thing is cut, which has to do with what you're releasing, you get to do whatever you want. Take control of your own narrative, is what this says. And that goes back to the Akashic field where I was saying that you're about to have like the ultimate power, which is limitless manifestation. Manifesting with your mind, manifesting through your hands is important. It's like when they take their hands off of you, your hands start working. So surround yourself with new people. You need an all new tribe. You need other people who are doing what you're doing, and not necessarily the job you're doing, but it's like other people who are in their purpose is what I'm feeling. This says lavender, right? Lavender is a calming agent. Like if you were doing spell work or something, you add lavender in it to ease the spell in. You use lavender in your tea or in your oil diffuser when you need to calm down and be chill. So now look at the people in this group. They're hanging out, they're drinking tea, they're doing positive things. Those are the people who are going to feed into you and inspire you the same way that you are inspiring people in your job. So the last one here is the sword. And at the bottom, it says, make that change. But every time I see this card, I think about the man in the mirror and you looking at yourself. But in this case, I'm feeling like maybe you need a little makeover. Maybe there's something about your look or your image that you have been keeping in a box because of all this energy here with people who perceive to have known what your purpose was meant to be. You can't be kept in a box. You can't be held back. Why? Because we're all just stardust. You got the whole world in your hands. And I said something about your hands. They have power. They have the power to heal. They have the power to create things that heal other people as well. They probably also have the power to knock somebody out, but we're not focusing on that right now because you healed. You integrated this energy. So the thing that you have not been recognizing about your own power is because other people were trying to stop you from seeing it. You're going to be recognizing your power in totality. Like, hold on, I manifested that. I made that. I could have been doing this the whole time. Nah, you couldn't have been doing it the whole time because you were split. Part of you had all your light over here. And then part of you had this shadow of stuff that you kept in the dark. So your shadow is not only comprised of the hurt, the pain, it includes the parts of yourself that are your light that you hid away so other people wouldn't deter you from using them. So if you're a funny person, but you were around a whole bunch of people that didn't get your jokes, you would start putting your jokes in your shadow. You could have been a comedian, but you don't know that until you come into union and you start integrating your humor. In this case, it's your creativity, your unique mind. You don't need anybody else's opinion or advice for what you need to do going forward because God speaks to you directly, ma'am. You work for source. I can't make that any louder. And this last card, and I didn't even think it was part of the pull, but you see how she's holding the cup that she has fixed in her hands? That goes back to you crafting again, right? But it's that you don't need someone else to fix you. Gold. But that gold is your Midas touch. You don't need someone else to fix you. You don't need to ask for anybody else's opinion because they're not going to understand the anointing that is placed on you. It's like source whispered in your ear about something like, hey, I'm about to bless you with something, but don't tell nobody because those people can't go with you because they didn't see your greatness in you. They tried to stop you from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate you from those people who didn't get it so that you can spread your wings and fly and become the vision that I have for you. This muse, you're going to do me a favor and create and do what you love in order to help other people find what they love as well. That's just beautiful. That's amazing. So I'm about to pull from my new empowerment deck for your closing message. Like this is like the most positive message I've had in a while. Just a beautiful energy of like springtime before springtime. Can I even say it's the feeling of when the snow is like crispy and clean and you like playing in it? Like, yeah, it's cold out here, but it's beautiful. And the air is so pure, it feels like so that by spring, you'll actually be reaping your harvest. That's just energetically talking here. You'll be pulling in new clients because you'll be building during the winter. Like you'll be making those projects I was just talking about. So, what is the closing message for Nikia today? What is the end? It's possible. That's the feeling I got. And I know it's a Whitney Houston Brandy song from the Cinderella movie, but I was just doing the Chance the Rapper version. But go for it. That's inspiration right there. Go for it. Go for it. And then blessing. And it's at the bottom, it says live a blessed life because your story will be one that inspires others. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say it? You are moving forward with faith. The first card I didn't show you was desire, right? And this looks like little crafts and stuff. But this is letting me know that as you create, you're going to like be buying stuff for yourself too. You're going to be recreating you. So you're creating outside things for other people, but you're also going to be like building up your person in between time. So let me read what these cards say to you as the closing message here, because they did take a lot of time to write stuff on here. And I feel that there might be clues in here or just pieces of things that trigger what you've already been hearing or sensing for yourself. So desire, first and foremost. Fulfillment is possible. Consider what you think you are seeking. Will this fulfill your soul's yearnings or only satisfy a temporary desire? Prioritize what's important in your life. Go for it. And this looks like a dude at the beginning, like a race. You are ready. If you are waiting for a sign to make a move, this is it. You are supported in taking the next step towards your goal. Focus on positive outcomes. Blessing. Live a blessed life. Everything that we do and every word that we speak is an opportunity for us to either give or receive a blessing. Be the bearer of blessings today. Stories. Question the narrative. Consider the stories that you believe about your life, about yourself, or about others. Replace these stories with eternal truths. I told you there was some leftover stuff you didn't even realize was like sort of lingering in your heart from like when somebody discouraged you, like even if you was making an art project and they was like, oh, that's good, baby, but don't try to get it to nobody. You stored it in here. And it's like you are so strong, you didn't even realize that some of those things hurt you. So they'll be brought up like little flashlights put on them just because they're getting cleared out, sweetie. Moving on. What's the next card? Better times are ahead. It may be time to detach from a situation that is no longer serving you. As one phase of your life is ending, another better phase is beginning. And I'm concluding this with the faith card, which this whole video was supposed to be igniting within you, just telling you what you already heard within yourself, coming from somebody who has literally no idea and no information about you, just so you would know, hey, that has been God tapping you on your shoulder, baby. Trust and believe. That's the next words. It is time to have faith and believe that everything will work out for the best. Trust yourself and know that you will make the right decisions. You don't need anybody else's advice. If you have any issues, pray about it and ask for a sign every time. And you ain't even got to do the whole formal hands. I don't even put my head down. When I started actually tapping into the God, like the real God, and not listening to like what the preconceived notions are about prayer and all that, when I went to go do this, God was like, lift your head up. Like you're my child. You don't have to bow your head or feel shame when you're talking to me. Lift your head up. Talk to me like you would your another parent. Like lock in. So that is the message today. And you have a good day.